master class for today. Okay, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. We're going to have a very, very interesting discussion today. So I'm quickly going to bring up my screen so that we can dive right into what we have for this afternoon. Okay, just 1 second, please. My slide should be up in the next few minutes. How are we all doing today? I can see that we'll have a couple of people on the call already. We'll have iPhone, Jennifer, Luafmike, Agiapong. Okay, how are we all doing? Okay, please feel free to type in your comment today in the chat session so that I can also be able to see it easily. Okay. My slide should be up right now. Doing fine, thanks. Thank you, Jennifer, for responding. Okay. I'm still expecting Oluwafumike Olalekon iPhone. Okay, thank you. Hello there. Can see what you just typed. Okay, all right. Oluwafumike is part of us. Okay. Please, how are we all doing today? Our discussion today is a very practical class. Okay, best cybersecurity job that you can get in 2025 if you are coming from a background of non-science backgrounds. Okay, so my screen should be up right now. Please confirm that you can see my screen, Jennifer, and let's confirm that we can see my screen loud, very, very visibly.
Yeah, Chukwemeka, I can see your screen.
All right, thank you for that. Oh, I think it went off again. All right, just a few seconds, and it should be off. So we're going to be having a very fantastic discussion today on the best cybersecurity jobs in 2025 for non-science degree holders. So are you coming from any background that's entirely different from the conventional backgrounds that we always know? Oh, you studied engineering, you did a STEM course, you studied mathematics or statistics. Today, we're going to show you that it is possible for you to actually get into cybersecurity with your non-technical career paths, okay? So are you coming from a background of sociology? Are you coming from a background of agriculture? Are you coming from a background of English? Are you coming from any background entirely? We're going to show you how you, please, I'm new to this space, I studied economics, fantastic Olaleko. So we're also going to show you that it is possible for you that study economics to be able to also break into the tech ecosystem. Okay, so our discussion for this evening is on the best cybersecurity jobs in 2025 for non-science degree holders. Even if you have a science degree, we are still going to also walk you through how you can also get to be a cybersecurity person this 2025. Okay, before we jump right into this discussion, I would love to know you and where you are joining us from, okay? So simply put in your name and the location of where you are joining us so that I can be able to know the demography of people that we have on the call and be able to know how to shape my mouth properly while discussing with each and every one of us today. Okay, so just your name and where you are joining us from so that I can also be able to get to know you. All right, fantastic. Jennifer from Ghana. It's good to have you on the call, Jennifer. Okay, I'm still waiting for others. Tochku from UK, Olaleko from Canada, fantastic. It's good to have three of you on the call, and you've also been able to introduce yourself. Okay, I have Onna from Nigeria. I'm sorry if I murder your name. Misra from Nigeria, then Anita from Nigeria, fantastic. It's good to have you all. And also Samuel from Nigeria, fantastic. Welcome to the discussion today where we're talking about the best cybersecurity jobs in 2025 for non-science degree holders. Okay, and I want you to do something very important for me. If you know anyone that this session is going to be very, very beneficial to, whether it's your friend, your colleague, even your enemy, please feel free to share the link to this conversation with them so that they can also be able to join us and hear what we have to say. Okay, I also have Sahad from UK. Okay, and I want you to also know if today is the first time that you are joining any of our session. So if today is the first time of being here, just type in a 1 in the comment section also. But if you've been here before, feel free to type in any number as it deems fit. Okay, feel free to type in a number, but if today is your first time, please type in a 1. Okay, I can see a question from Anita already. Anita is asking, please, is it recorded? Yes, Anita. So the sessions are always recorded. All right. But for you to have access to recorded version, you need to fill the attendance form that my colleague Oluwafumike dropped in the comments section. Okay. Fill the attendance form. With what you filled in the attendance form, we are going to use it to send the recorded version of this discussion to you. Okay, but it's important that you also listen to what we have to say. But if at any point you dropped off due to network, or maybe a call came in and you had to take the call, you can always access the recorded version of this discussion. But first, you need to fill the attendance form, because with the form, that's what we are going to be using to send out to everyone the recorded version, and also the slide for this discussion. Fantastic. I can see a couple of people that today is their first time. Olalekon is their first time. Jennifer, first time. Sahad, first time as well. And then Abdul Saman is also his first time. Then Tochuku on Olubemiro, they've been here before, and also Nyasha. I think I've seen Nyasha. She be like last year. I saw this name, Nyasha. Okay, it's good to have you all on the call. So we're going to jump right into our discussion. I promise you in the next couple of minutes or hours, we are going to be done with everything that we have for you. Okay, so who exactly is organizing this event, this discussion that we're having this evening? So we are Tenalytics, and we are the leading educational technology company that is helping people of the Black community to break into the tech career paths. Okay, over the last 4 years, we've helped close to 3,000 people to move from our classroom into landing their tech jobs. Okay, and that includes in the UK, in US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and of course, Asia. And we have just 8 courses that we offer. And there's a reason why we only choose to offer 8 courses. And that includes data analytics, data science, data engineering, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, that's the Scrum Master, and of course, cybersecurity, which is the main thing that we are discussing this evening, and also soon to come AI engineering. And how do we do this? So we use project-based model to teach you on what you need to learn to land a job. Because we have one goal. We want everyone that comes into our program to move from the level they're at into a new role. Whether you're already in the tech space, you are improving what you know and getting a better pay, or you are entirely out of the space and we are trying to learn new. We are going to also get it and move into the tech sector. We use project-based model where we call our students consultants. And the reason is simple. They work on real-life projects, because we also play in the consulting space. When we get contractual services, our students also work on it. So you can speak from a place of experience saying, oh, while I was consulting with Analytics, I worked on this project. And these are things that recruiters are always looking out for. So moving on, who am I that I've been speaking for a couple of minutes? My name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and I'm the CEO of Tenalytics. Over the last couple of years, I've worked in several roles. In fact, I consider myself as a dynamic technology consultant, okay? But I have close to a decade of experience in governance, risk and compliance, and of course, strategy consulting. I've helped over 1,000 individuals with no technical career path to break into the tech sector. My experience spans across the financial service sector, the capital markets, hospitality, and of course, educational technology space. I've worked as a GRC person in the bank. I've worked as a head of control in a fintech industry. I've also worked as a data analyst in a fintech company, and also as a business growth consultant in the hospitality sector. You can follow me across my socials on LinkedIn as Chukwuemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Heist, or also Instagram at Ekpa_Chooks. Okay, with me today is no other person than amazing Vivian Nesiama. So Vivian, I don't know if you are there to say hello to the house before I go ahead to introduce Vivian.
Hello, Chukwuemeka. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chukwuemeka. How are we doing? My name is Vivian, so I'll just leave Chukwuemeka to handle my introduction from here on. Thank you, Chukwuemeka.
All right. Thank you, Vivian. It's good to have you on the call. Vivian is being humble. So Vivian is a senior cybersecurity specialist here at Analytics. and she have excelled in several different domains that exist in this sector. She worked as a security operations. She understands threat intelligence, incident response, and of course, digital forensics. She holds CC by ISC and also Blue Team Level 1. So she has a proven track record in securing digital assets. So if you want to secure digital assets, make sure that you reach out to Vivian. And of course, also in risk management, she has improved several digital security by implementing IAM and also the RBAC model and also MFA solutions. So Vivian is just everything cybersecurity that you can think of. And also, she is a leader and she's passionate about helping people to get all those practical understanding of cybersecurity for you to be able to transition from anywhere you're coming from into the tech space. She understands several tools. When it comes to CM2, she's used Microsoft Sentinel, she's used Wazoo, she's used Splunk, and then she's also an expert when it comes to vulnerability testing using Nmap. And today, we are going to be hearing from this amazing, beautiful, and intelligent Vivian on everything pertaining to how you can also be able to transition into cybersecurity space from your non-science degree. In fact, Vivian, I think you studied, was it sociology or thereabouts? What did you study again? Please remind me.
Yes, sociology. Sociology.
All right,
You're correct.
So Vivian studied sociology, and today she's a senior cybersecurity specialist. And this is to tell you that it is possible, no matter what you studied. Personally, I studied civil engineering. Some people might argue, oh, you're in the engineering space. But Vivian started from being a sociologist, but today she's a cybersecurity expert. So your story can also, take a turn if you decide to listen to what she has to tell you this evening and be able to implement what you learn. So we're going to be handling a couple of things. First, we're going to understand cybersecurity and have a practical masterclass on how you are expected to learn. Okay, so when you come into the analytics, how are you going to learn? One major mistake and major misconception that people have when trying to get into cybersecurity is, for instance, you've seen Vivian's profile and you have seen a couple of certifications. Then first thing you are doing is to rush to start getting certification without having a practical understanding of what you need to do. That is a big, big mistake. Because first thing you need to do if you're looking to get into cybersecurity is get the technical understanding first. Okay, and that's why Vivian will walk us through a practical masterclass on some things that you are going to learn for you to break into this career path. Then I also walk us through the pathway to becoming a cybersecurity professional, and of course, walk you through our growth internship program, and then our special discounted offer for you by virtue of being on this call. Okay, so before Vivian comes up, I just want to highlight something for everyone, just like I've mentioned already. Can everyone see my screen? A couple of weeks ago, the world's richest man made a post that shook the entire employability space. So he said, if you are a hardcore software engineer and want to build everything up, please join us by sending your best work to code@x.com. All right, we don't care where you went to school or even whether you went to school or what big name company you worked at, just show us your code. Okay, just show us your code. Okay, why is my pen not writing? Right, so this should tell you clearly that the environment has clearly changed. If the richest man is saying, oh, I don't care the school you went to, I don't even care whether you've worked with the top 4, because everyone, oh, I want to get into the top 4, I want to get into the top 4. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the big name company you've worked at. All that he wants is for you to show your code. And what this translates to is simple. The era of certification is over. Okay, certification is over. Nobody actually cares about the certificates that you have. What will get you to where you want to be is simply your skills and your experience. So if you're able to show that you have skill in cybersecurity and also be able to show the experience that you're able to get, definitely you are going to get into that role that you're looking for. So I'm going to hand over to Vivian to walk us through a couple of practical that we need to know if we're looking to land a job in the cybersecurity space. Hello, Vivian, are you there? The floor is yours.
Yes, I'm here, Chukwemeka. Can you please Okay, we need to go into the demo session now. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you. I think I would prefer if you shared your screen. So I just present from the slides and then we'll go into the demo session with my
All right, that's
screen.
fine. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so please take me to the next slide. All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. So my name is Vivian Isiama again. So Chukwuemeka already introduced me. I'm a cybersecurity professional at Accees, and this evening we're going to be doing a basic vulnerability scan using a tool called Nmap. So if you're new to cybersecurity, don't worry. I'll try to keep this simple, for you to understand this very well. Okay, so what is Nmap basically? You might be asking, right? So Nmap is a free open source tool for network discovery and security auditing. So this particular tool helps cybersecurity professionals to find open ports, running services, and possible vulnerabilities in systems, right? So by vulnerabilities, I mean weaknesses. So we're trying to check for what's happening in our environment, how can we make things better, right? So just think of Nmap like a detective, and it actually scans our network to tell us what devices are online, which ports are open, and what services are actually running. While cybersecurity professionals use this tool, attackers also use this tool to find weaknesses in the systems and basically to attack organizations, attack individuals as well. Okay, next slide, Chukwuemeka. Yeah, thank you. All right, so why are we basically giving you a case study today? We're doing this because many businesses often overlook simple security checks, right? Security checks like updating software. And I believe that some of us on this call today, we've probably not updated some of our softwares, maybe your iOS, Android, even some applications on your phone, right? I know some of us just ignore those updates and just feel like, oh, this is a lot, right? But this is something I need to point out today. You always need to update. You always need to update, right? Someone in cybersecurity not updating their apps doesn't even speak well of you, right? So basically what Nmap is going to help us to do is to make it easy for us to find these vulnerabilities before an attacker does, right? So our objective for this session is basically to teach you how to use Nmap and identify these common weaknesses, which are vulnerabilities, and then help you start your cybersecurity journey with hands-on experience. Please, next slide. All right, so we'll be walking through this scenario using Cedar Enterprises, an SME that has launched an e-commerce website. So basically, this organization has some security situation where they don't have dedicated security team and they're unaware of potential vulnerabilities in their infrastructure. And our role this evening is basically to run a simple Nmap scan, right? An initial assessment using Nmap scan to identify these risks for Cedar Enterprises. Next slide, please. All right, so the tools we're going to be using this evening is Nmap. We're going to be using Kioprix Ubuntu machine for vulnerable testing. So basically this machine is going to be our vulnerable site. So we've intentionally made it vulnerable so that you can see how attackers actually go in there, scan for vulnerabilities, and then they are able to attack organizations, right? And then another tool we're going to be using is VirtualBox. And this basically helps us to run different operating systems while within our Windows machine. And then we'll also be using the Linux terminal, which will be running on VirtualBox as well. So this is where we'll be running our Nmap command from. So from here, I think I need to take over from Chukwuemeka with sharing my screen. Yes, okay. So, okay, just one more thing before we get into the demo session. Chukwuemeka, you can go to the next screen. No. The one before this one. Yes. So basically what we'll be doing today is using Nmap, right? So this screen basically just shows us how to use Nmap. So the command you'll be running on the terminal is Nmap, and then we're going to be specifying a particular IP address, and then it's going to give us a list of open ports or running services. And I'll basically explain what these open ports are and why they are basically vulnerable, or why attackers could actually use this to get into our environment. So Chukwemeka, thank you so much. I will share my screen now. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
All right, thank you. Okay, so if you can see my screen right now, you basically see that in my VirtualBox environment, right? So this is VirtualBox that you can see here, and I have different machines here. So this can be likened to like live computers, physical computers, but then we're simulating them on another physical machine, right? So we'll be using Kali Linux as well as this target Linux server here. So this is our vulnerable Ubuntu QP server, right? So I already have them running, and I'll just open that up. So please, Chukwemeka, confirm for me when you can see my Kali screen.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so to perform a basic scan with Nmap, we basically just need to specify an IP address. And to specify this IP address, we need to get it from our vulnerable machine, right? So this is my vulnerable machine screen right here. And then the command I'm going to use is IP and then space A. And then I'll click enter on my keyboard. And then it basically gives me an output right here. And then I can see my IP address for this particular computer as 192.168.2.7, right? So this is the IP address we're going to be using Nmap to scan. And then Nmap is going to tell us, okay, what vulnerable ports or what open ports are on this machine. And basically, we can now check for the vulnerabilities, right? Okay, so I'll take you to my Kali screen now, and then we'll be running that Nmap scan against the IP address. So we'll do Nmap. And then we're going to do the IP address. So basically, I already have this on my screen right now. So Nmap 192.168.2.7, which was the IP address that we just got from our vulnerable machine. And then I'm just going to click enter on my keyboard, and Nmap is actually done running. That was really fast. Okay, so if you can see this right now, you can see that Nmap started, and this is version of Nmap running at the time. Look at the time when we ran this particular command here, and then you can see the Nmap scan report. And this is basically telling us that the host is up and giving us some numbers here, basically telling us how fast this machine was able to respond to this scan, right? And then I can see some open ports here, port 21, which is FTP, port 22, which is SSH, port 80, HTTP, and then 3306, MySQL. So if you know MySQL, you know that this is a database, and this machine has a database running on it. So FTP basically is file transfer protocol. So this is something that's in fact, all of us use it, but probably you don't know it's running in the background, right? So let's just say you visit like a website, and then you want to like upload your picture, or you want to download something from the website. That's basically FTP working in the background for you, right? And then let's say you're a remote worker, and you want to access company resources. That is SSH working in the background for you. So SSH is basically a protocol that helps you to remotely access company resources from wherever you are. And then for HTTP, this is the one that we are always using. When you visit websites, you are basically just visiting a web server, right, to get that website up for you. All right. So basically, I've explained this Nmap scan. And then one more thing we're going to do. So how do we actually identify the vulnerabilities? Yes, we know that these ports are open, right? So one thing that I've noticed here is that we are running port 80 on this particular host, on this particular machine or computer, right? And port 80 is running HTTP, which is a vulnerable version of HTTP. So if we notice, when we go online to like browse on different websites, you definitely see like HTTPS and then a padlock at the side of your browser, right? So that shows us that that particular protocol is secure. On HTTP, you basically have your details. Maybe you're visiting like a website where you have to enter your username and password. It means that it is in plain text, right? So that is why this particular version of HTTP is vulnerable. But then let's go ahead. We'll run another Nmap scan where I'm going to show you the versions of these different protocols that we have here. And then this is how attackers actually check for these vulnerabilities using the version numbers of these services, right? So the command we're going to use now, I'm just going to use my up arrow key on my keyboard. So my former command comes back up, and then I'm going to do the -SV. So small letter S and then capital V. And then we're going to run this again. So this is another basic scan, but this basic scan is going to give us the version numbers of these open ports that we have here. All right, so my scan is done. I'll just go ahead and highlight this for you guys to see. So you can see that I have more results from the first scan that I did, right? We just had our open ports before now. Now we can see some version number. So I can see that FTP is running a version 3.03. I can see OpenSSH at 7.6 and is running on Ubuntu. So remember that Ubuntu is the machine that we are trying to scan and find vulnerabilities on. So you see that it's giving me that information already. So imagine this was an attacker, right? He already knows, oh, this is the version number. All he has to do is pick this version number, go online on the internet, and then search for vulnerabilities that exist, right? And if you can search for vulnerabilities, remember I said that FTP is used to like upload files, download files. So imagine that an attacker has access to this, yeah? What he's going to do now, he can obviously upload a malicious file. So I'm very sure that we might understand what malicious is, something that is not good, right? So he can upload a malicious file there, deface the website, deface the company's website basically, and then maybe disrupt operations. All right, so this is basically how to run an Nmap scan, and this is how to conduct a vulnerability assessment for an organization. So I'll have Chukwemeka take me back to the slides, and then I'll walk us through our recommendations. Chukwemeka, are you good to go?
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, I'm bringing it up now.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's up.
Vivian, please unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I didn't know I was muted. Thank you. All right. So after running a vulnerability scan, basically as a cybersecurity professional, what then are you going to do? Yes, we've done Nmap scan. We found out the vulnerabilities. We know that, oh, there are like versions that are vulnerable in our environment. But then what do we do, right? So this is where we move into the remediation stage or like recommendation stage to suggest what should be done in the organization. So number one here on our list is to close unused ports. So you know that let's just see ports like doors, right? Like FTP, for example, is just like a door for you to upload your file on a website. Yeah, so that's what a port is, right? So what we need to do is close unused ports. When you know you're not using FTP, you're not using SSH, you're not using any service at all, it should be closed. And how do we close it? We use firewalls and security groups to block these new services, right? And then number two, which I'm going to emphasize on, because I know that most of us do this like on a daily basis, we don't update our software on our phones, applications, right? Update your software, all right? So this is something that you need to do consistently, always check, because the older versions might have vulnerabilities existing and you never can tell when an attacker is going to like strike. Okay, so always update your software. And then the third one on our list is to enforce strong password policies. So I know that some of us are still using maybe password 123, or just use passwords that you feel like you just want to easily remember, but this is a very bad practice. And in order to mitigate against brute force attacks, right, we need to enforce strong password policies. And then when it comes to the organizational setting, make sure that everyone in the organization is following this policy. So it's not enough to just give your recommendations or suggestions. You have to make sure that these things are implemented. Next screen, Chukwemeka. Yeah, thank you. All right. So after giving recommendations and all, we've done our MMAP scan. One thing that stands out in cybersecurity is reporting, right? How do you actually convey your message to stakeholders in your organization? How do you tell them, oh, this is what I found, this is vulnerability I found? How do you let them know, oh, this is how it impacts the business, this is how it impacts the organization in general, right? Are we losing money based on if an attacker actually exploits this vulnerability that exists? These are things that you need to point out to them, right? Because they don't have the time to come and sit down with you and do your MMAP scan. They're not going to have the time to start looking at the raw data that you've gotten from your MMAP scan. So the best way to help them understand this is actually creating a report that is easy to understand. And one key skill for a cybersecurity professional is being able to communicate these technical skills to even non-technical people, right? So what your report does for you is basically to help you document everything that you've been able to find. And one key thing that I'm going to point out is that always take screenshots. Screenshots is what actually proves that, oh, I did this thing and this is what I found. So when anyone is going through your report, while you've been able to explain in like simple details, right? You have a screenshot there showing them, okay, this is what it actually is. This is what I found, or this is what I've explained. So that's basically what it is in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is really, really easy. It's not something to like crack your head about, right? It's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is put your mind to it, and you can do anything you put your mind to. All right. So I'll hand over to my colleague Chukwemeka to continue the session. Thank you. Thank you, Chukwemeka.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vivian. Fantastic presentation that you've had there. Okay, I don't know if we have any questions for Vivian before I continue driving the discussion. So you can clearly see that it is possible for you with zero non-technical, non-coding skills to be able to work as a cybersecurity expert. Because one major misconception that we always think is, oh, when we hear about cybersecurity, oh, I'm going to write codes. Well, I'm going to start wearing hoodie and be writing all those kind of hacking things that you always see in movies, all right? So there are several domains that exist in cybersecurity. And for you, coming from any background, it is possible for you to be able to get into any of them, okay? Even if your plan is to get it towards the ethical hacking side or towards the endpoint or application security and all, you have to start from this initial space and then gradually be able to advance. Okay, I think there are a couple of questions in the comment section. Let me quickly check and see what they are asking. Can this be done in Azure as well? Okay, can this be done in Azure as well? I don't get that question, and I doubt, but I don't know whether you have a response to what Isaac is asking, whether this can be done in Azure.
Okay, so Azure is a cloud environment, so definitely you can actually, yes, can you hear me now? Yes, please confirm that you can hear me, Chukwemeka. All right, yes, so I was saying that Azure is a cloud environment. Oh, it seems my my audio just comes after you're speaking. All right, so anyway, I was saying that Azure is a cloud environment, right? So basically you can actually scan for vulnerabilities in Azure, but then Azure is like a Microsoft tool, right? So basically they have what they use to, like, it's inbuilt in that environment to actually scan for vulnerabilities. So you can use like Microsoft Defender for Cloud to do this. So I don't know if that answers the question for the person asking. Let me see.
That's
if I can
Isaac.
Get yeah, Isaac. So I don't know if that answers your question, Isaac. Thank you.
Okay. Then there's a question from Tinted. How do we know these commands? So I think it's something that we also want to walk them through, how to know some of these commands that you can easily be able to use in MMAP. So go ahead, Vivian.
All right, so maybe that's something that I should have shown you guys, right? But then there's a lot of things to learn in cybersecurity, and you can't use like 30 minutes or 1 hour to learn that, right? Nmap is not the only thing that we do as cybersecurity professionals, but this is just like the starting point to show you that it is possible, right? So how do you know the commands to run? Basically, if you register for our course, definitely you're going to get like the broad view of understanding the core basics of how to start this thing, right? But knowing the command to run, maybe using Nmap, all you have to do is to like look at the man page or the help page on your Kali Linux. So basically you're doing Nmap and then space dash dash help. And I'll put that command in chat box as well to help you understand what Nmap does. Is that, I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that answers it, and that's from Tinted. So thank you. So Tinted is very, very simple. But it's not normal school learning that you have to cram everything that you need to know when it comes to writing all those commands. So for Nmap, all you have to do is just dash dash and then put help, and then it's going to bring
Yeah,
out
I just
every
put that in the
single.
chat box.
All right, it's going to bring out every single command that exists. So you can now look at them and identify the command that you want to ask you to do. If you want to know the version control, you can easily see, oh, you need to press or you need to type in dash small s capital V for you to know the version of the tinted. All you have to do is understand it all. So let me quickly also check more to see if there are other how do we check the vulnerability of workloads in the Azure tenant? Okay. Isaac, that may not truly communicate what you want to say. How do we know the term to use? Okay, I believe that also answers your question, Toby. How do we know the command? How do we know the term? I mean, in the command. So that's fantastic. How deep do GRC specialists have to go? Olaleko. Fantastic. I mean, we are going to get to that part where I'll answer part of it. What I always tell people is that you can't build a policy that you don't understand. So that's one major mistake that we make these days, where we have people that just jump right into, oh, I just want to know GRC, let me know ISO 27001, understand NIST, and then that's just it. But for you to be able to be a fantastic GRC person, you need to be able to also understand what the practical guys are doing. Okay, it's just an example also. If when a footballer finish playing their life and becomes a coach, sometimes it's different when someone that has never played football at all just comes in and say, oh, I want to be a coach. Because sometimes they may not even understand, oh, this is what you need to do, these things that can actually happen in the field. So that's also how it plays out in the cybersecurity space. GRC, governance and compliance, is purely policy-based, governance-based, and control-based, but you cannot control an environment that you do not understand. I hope that makes sense to you, Olaleko. So I think we've been able to answer a couple of questions in this first segment. We're going to jump into helping you understand cybersecurity fully now. Because like Giga rightly said, there are so many domains that exist in cybersecurity, so many different things that I cannot even think about. Someone told me that her role in the company was she functions as a social engineer. Okay. And I was not like, okay, social engineer. Basically, what she does is, you see, some of these things that back people do outside, hers is legalized that she has to do within the company and make sure that staff understand some of the things that they can face. Okay, so there's so many domains that exist in cybersecurity that you and I can easily get into. So I want us to play a couple of games so that I can also understand that cybersecurity is not hard. Okay, so when we were kids, we used to play. Guys grew up in big cities that I never got to play this amazing childhood game. Okay, so it's simple. We know the all the vowels of the alphabet. That's A, E, I, O, U. Now let's try to replace all those vowels with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you see A, let's replace A with 1. Then let's replace E with 2 and replace I with 3. Then O with 4. And of course, U with 5. Okay, once you've done this, at any point that you see any consonants, okay, just put an A and an R sound after it. Okay, after any consonant, put an A and an R sound after it. So let me give an example of what I'm trying to explain. Right now we have if game equals ga1 ma2. Right, so game equals ma1 ma2. What is fa1 ma2? Let me see people that were able to get the thing I'm talking about. Okay, if game equals ga1 ma2, what is fa1 ma2? I mean, this is very, very simple. And I believe that all of us should be able to get this easily. Fantastic, Jennifer said fame. Let me wait to see if there are other people that is also going to give me the same response so that I'll be able to be sure that the answer is fame. Okay, Absalam also mentioned fame. Fantastic. Olalek also mentioned fame. Great. Now, you guys know that during school period where you've been given 1 plus 1 during classwork, and then the exam will come and you see what's the square root of 7 multiplied by 24. Fantastic. So let's dive right into it. The answer is fame. Now, let's try to decrypt 3 la 4 vatu tatu kaha. Okay, I'm not speaking French. I've just been able to codify the word by assigning numbers to the vowels and then putting an A after each of those consonants. So if answered ga1 ma2 is game, fa1 ma2 is also fame. Now what is 3 la 4 vatu tatu kaha? Use that same principle to answer this, and you'll be able to understand that cybersecurity is not hard. It's simply about you being able to understand how things flows. Wow, that is fast. I've had this session a couple of times, and I don't think anyone has been able to answer this in the space of a minute. Fantastic iPhone. I can't remember the name that you gave earlier, and also Jennifer. I love tech. Fantastic. So let me, Olaleko, were you able to decrypt it? Absalam, were you able to also do the same thing? And also, okay, I think that's the two of you that answered the first one. Were you guys able to decrypt this same one? I use this code way back. Fantastic, Jennifer. That means maybe you grew up in the same neighborhood way back. Fantastic. That's why you're able to play it easily. Absalam said, I love tech. Fantastic. That's really amazing. So if you grew up in the neighborhood or maybe in some places, we used to play this game. And when you've assigned a vowel or a number to a vowel, and you are using it to communicate with your guys, no other person will understand what you are saying. Okay, so for instance, if tomorrow Vivian wants to do another session and she decides to, for A, we are going to assign 9. For E, we assign 12. For I, we assign 15, and so many different variable numbers. All right. If you that know this program we use it hard tomorrow, you cannot be able to decrypt it unless you what the primary keys have assigned, what they are. Okay. So if you do not understand the primary keys, your texts are encrypted when sentences are encrypted, when messages are encrypted or hashed, unless you understand it. That's the only way that you can be able to or code what the message has to say, right? It's just an understanding of what was assigned and how was it assigned, and simply you can be able to decrypt it as that. Move on. Let me now ask the other things that we have for today. So what is Watu? One lala, one nata, one gafoda. Okay, I don't know what happened right now, but I think I lost everyone for a moment. Can you hear me? Please, let's confirm that we can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you now, loud and clear.
All right, thank you for I don't know what happened, but I just was through out of this session. So I'm saying, okay, with that same principle that we already know, let's try to decrypt this last one, and then we'll move on to have further discussions. Okay, if you are just joining us, also please try. Oh, we all want a good life. Jennifer, you are a cheat. You are a cheater. You are very You're a cheat. So Jennifer has been able to decrypt it. Okay. So the answer is simple. We all want a good life. Okay. So once you understand this, you can easily be able to get into the cybersecurity space because this is also how some of those encryptions always happen. Thank you, Olaleko. We all want a good life. Can see that a couple of people are now catching up with our discussion. I hope every other person on the call will understand what we are doing. Adidayo, Anita, every person on the call, AS, B, C, Moyo, Chigozie, Dante, Faith, and every other person that is here, please let's confirm that we are following to this very moment. If you are following, just drop any comments in the chat box and we are going to continue our discussion, okay? Just drop anything in the comment section and I'll be sure. Anita said that she's not following. Wow. Anita said that she is not following. Tochku said following. Kunle said clear. Okay, let's try to find Anita. Okay, let's give her that benefit of doubt. Okay, Chico said type a dot. So Anita, see what we did initially. All right. Maybe you didn't join early. We have these vowels, A, E, I, O, U. All the English vowels that you know, A, E, I, O, U, that's what we have. And then we replace for A, let's assign, for A, let it equal to 1. For E, let it be equal to 2. For I, let it be equal to 3. For O, let it be equal to 4. And for U, let it be equal to 5. So it means that in any word that you see any of these vowels, it's going to be replaced with the numbers. And then after each consonant, there's going to be an A after each. So that's how we have game. The encrypted number now is now going to be Ga1 Mark 2. All right. For fame also, the encrypted number now became Fa1 Mark 2. So do you understand it up to this moment, Anita? Anita, do you understand it up to this moment? Okay, I hope Anita gets that. So after we've been able to understand it, with that same principle, you are now going to use it to decrypt this one. For instance, 3, remember on this, our encrypted numbers, 3 equals I, which means this is I, and then L is a vowel, 4 equals 0, they have your V, then 2 equals E. The same thing, you have your T here, and then 2 equals E, then you have your C and also H. So when you decrypt this, it simply means I love tech. So what we're trying to explain is that the way encryption also works is the same principle. For you to be able to decrypt anything, you need to first of all understand the primary keys. And once you have that understanding, you should be able to decrypt anything that comes your way. I hope that's clear for everyone. So if you're still struggling or thinking, oh, for me to break into cybersecurity, I need to be an expert coder, I need to know how to write Python codes, I need to know how to do every single thing technical or be excellent in mathematics, while that might be a little bit of truth, there might be an aspect of truth in it, but entirely, all you need to be able to break into cybersecurity is to have that technical mindset. Okay, once you have a technical mindset, you can easily be able to get into cybersecurity. Our senior cybersecurity expert studied sociology in school. Okay, so if she can move from being a sociologist to becoming a senior cybersecurity expert with a lot of medals on her belt, then you also should be able to make that same move. So let's move ahead, everyone, with everything that we have. I mean, the other things to decrypt here, please, let's make sure that we fill the attendance form, okay? If you fill the attendance form, once we are done with this discussion, we are going to share the slide that we're using for this conversation with everyone that filled the attendance form. And of course, also send the recorded version of this class to you so that on your own, you can also be able to go through every single thing that we've discussed and be able to internalize them and understand very well. So whom exactly is a cybersecurity person? Okay, when we talk about cybersecurity, when we say cybersecurity this, cybersecurity that, what exactly is cybersecurity? Okay, so cybersecurity is very, very simple. All right, it's just the practice of protecting your systems or networks from any external influence. All right, so the same way that you are protecting your house, when you want to leave your house, you're locking your door, where you are using bolts, you are using the key, you are using several means to lock your door once you've left. you are doing physical security. That's the same way someone needs to be able to protect all the digital assets that you have. And that's where cybersecurity comes in fully. Okay. And the primary role that any cybersecurity analyst is expected to do is simple. That's what we call the principle of information security. And that is the CIA triad. It simply means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So how do you make sure that the data that you are trying to protect, that there's still confidence that it maintains in the eyes of everyone? How do you also make sure that the data integrity is intact? And also, how do you make sure that data is available for everyone at any point that they need it? So everything that you are going to be learning in cybersecurity is hinged on this principle, okay? And you can visualize this using this triangle that we have right here, okay? The CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is what cybersecurity is all about. Okay, so moving on, I'm just going to try to walk us through some certain principles that also exist under each of these principles, right? So for confidentiality, we're talking about encryption, okay? So the same way that you saw the little game that we played right now, right? You saw how we're able to make sure that, for instance, it means that our data, there's going to be confidence when we are communicating that data to another person, okay? Because if you leave this conversation now or in the house, you are trying to, you've learned the tactics that you're trying to also communicate with your wife, your kids, or anybody. And you're now trying to make sure that people around you do not understand what you are saying. There is no how they will get it unless they have the primary key. For instance, Aneta didn't understand what we're trying to do before because she didn't understand how all those keys has been assigned to the vowels. Okay, so that means you are trying to also protect the confidence with respect to that data, right? We also have, for that encryption, even if the data is stored in your server room, as the case may be, the confidence needs to be maintained. Or whether it's in data in transit, which means it's now moving from one your server room to a hard disk that is now en route, it still has to, it needs to be encrypted. So if at any point the data is intercepted, nobody will be able to decrypt what it is saying unless they have the primary key. Okay, you also have the other aspect of tokenization or masking. Okay, tokenization or masking. I mean, some of our mobile apps these days, if you open your balance, you're going to see that it is masked. Okay, that's also to protect your information. All right. So when we move to integrity, we'll have the message digest, we'll have digital signature. And all these things is to make sure that the integrity of that data is intact. Okay. For instance, if I send an email today from my email and then it carries my digital signature, there's no how I can come out tomorrow and say, oh, this email did not originate from me. Okay, because there's a digital signature from there showing, oh, this email came from chukwemeka@analytics.io, as the case may be. So it will definitely not be questioned anywhere. Okay, so for non-repudiation, that's where digital signature comes in. So for any data that you are seeing that is always carried along, there is a way that people also make sure that their digital signatures are there. Okay, that's what we also call audit trail. That if at any point we have a data, Chukwemeka has viewed this data, another person has viewed it, it's going to show a trail of every single person that had access to that data. And this is to make sure that at any point we are seeing differentials in the data, we're going to say, okay, between 11 and 12 p.m., that's the point that Vivian, used this data. And that's the point that there became issues with the data. So Vivian cannot at any point say, oh, I don't know what happened to it, because there's a digital signature, there's an audit trail to show what happens. And then we'll talk about access control. So we're looking at things like, for instance, let me use two basic examples, which is departmental access control or hierarchical access control. So in your organization, for instance, there's some data that you may have access to because you are in the HR department. And then there are some data that someone in finance department will have access to. Maybe you, there's an operations department, you're not going to even have access to any of that data because there are controls assigned to it, that it is only available for people in this department. So there's an access level to it. And then also we have the hierarchical level where, for instance, I may have access to the financials of analytics end to end, and then an intern may not have access to the financials end to end. That is now hierarchical controls. So these are also implemented to make sure that the integrity of the data is always intact. Then when it comes to availability, we'll have your IDS, your IPS, where we're talking about intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems. Okay, so the function is just to detect, while the other detects and prevents external influence. So it means that if someone is trying to get hold of your data, it's going to trigger you and make sure that data doesn't get into that person's hand if they are not authorized to have it. Okay, which means our data is only available for people that it is meant for, and then it is locked out from people that is not meant for them. For every single thing that you are going to be learning inside cybersecurity, it has a dotted line of action, either into confidentiality or towards integrity of the data, or lastly towards the availability of the data. So if you don't learn everything today, make sure you understand the CIA triad, because it's the principle on which everything that you are going to be doing in cybersecurity is hinged on. And it's simple: confidentiality, integrity, and then availability of data. I hope we are still here and we are getting a little bit of understanding here and there. I mean, what we are saying is not too technical. It's just for us to have that basic understanding first. Are we still here? Because I'm about to also, introduce us to how you can be able to make that move. So which way do you go? Are we still here? If you're here, please type anything in the comment section so that I'll be sure that there are people that are under the influence of my voice. Thank you, Coach, who I can see your yes. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tura. I can see Anita, thank you. Okay, so fantastic. Now, this is just to give a general background for to everyone on the call. Because most time we are looking to break into the tech industry. The truth is, I'm not going to advise you to, you are not technical and you're trying to get into cybersecurity because that is where everybody's moving to. Okay, I always love to tell people the truth. Make sure you get into the career path that has your own responsibilities, that has your own skill. How do you leverage your initial years of experience to transition into the career path that you want to get into? All right, so some of the responsibilities that a cybersecurity professional is endowed with is making sure that he plans and strategize the security of any of those companies. So his responsibility includes planning on how the security architecture of this company is going to be like. Okay, how am I going to secure all the networks that we have here? Okay, or are you going to have a vulnerable network that someone is going to be able to get into your systems easily through? And also have endpoint security, okay, and also threat detection and incident response. Very, very crucial, because as a cybersecurity person, there are instances where people are going to try to get into your system, okay? So your responsibility includes being able to detect this and also making sure that this incident is reported, because it is very, very important to have it in your audit trail, okay? The incident is detected and then it is prevented and also reported. And then you have your security awareness training. In most companies, they always have someone that trains people. In fact, that's what we call, I'm trying to remember this test that we used to carry out on people, where we send fictitious email to staff and then try to find out who is going to click on that email. Okay, because it simply means that if we send a malicious link and let's assume Kunle clicked on that link, it means that Kunle is a vulnerable person in our organization. So it depends on how the organization treats vulnerable people. That's going to determine how Kunle is going to be handled. Yeah, phishing test, fantastic. Thank you, Vivian. Right, we always carry out this phishing test where we send all those phishing emails to people to see people that is going to fall prey to it. And once you fall, it might be you falling out of the company entirely, because a cybersecurity problem is a lot of problem. A data analyst can make an error, okay? A data engineer can make an error, but you as a cybersecurity professional, you cannot make an error, because one is that it is not just financial issues that are going to bring. So it has financial implication, 1. 2, it has regulatory implication. All right. 3, it has reputational implication. Okay. So if a data engineer makes a mistake, and 4, it has operational implication. Okay. If a data engineer makes a mistake, it might just be, highest, it might be operational and also somehow financial. If a data analyst makes an error, the same thing, financial and also operational. But you, as a cybersecurity person, if you make a mistake, it's going to lead to regulatory issue, it's going to lead to reputational issue, it's going to still lead to those financial issues, and of course, it will also lead to operational issues. Okay, because I'm sure that if today you hear that your money is, let's assume in any of the Nigerian banks, let's use Access Bank, your money is in Access Bank, and you hear that, oh, Access Bank is having small issues here and there, are you going to leave that money till tomorrow? So it's going to affect them financially, it's going to affect them reputational wise as well. So it's important for all of us to know the path that we're getting into, because cybersecurity is not like the other career path that you can easily make an error and then run away from it. Okay, so next one is access control and identity management. Okay, it's also your responsibility. When if you've worked in the bank before, or any institution that does a marker checker kind of action, you notice that there's what we call work classes. For instance, a teller will have a different work class from the cash officer, from the branch operations manager, because the expectations are different, which means access control has to be done for every staff joining the company, making sure that at any point you join, you have the access level for your role, so that you, as a customer service person, you cannot initiate a check and be able to conclude that transaction. Once you initiate, your work class, your control will instantly stop there, that you cannot even be able to approve that transaction. So this is where access control and identity management fully plays a role. And like we all know, there is need for security, compliance, and risk management. It's also part of what you need to be doing. And also what Vivian showed us this evening, which is security testing and vulnerability assessment. How vulnerable is my machine? How vulnerable is the company? It is your responsibility to make sure that the company is not vulnerable to anyone, okay? And then incident documentation and reporting. That's still a whole lot of responsibility that is expected from a cybersecurity professional, okay? But we just started with this 10 so that you have the understanding of where you are trying to also get into. So what are some of those skills that you are going to be needing? Like I said, you need to be technical. You need to have that technical understanding, okay? I mean, if I ask us on this call, verbal reasoning or quantitative, how do we even used to do it back in the day? Verbal reasoning, quantitative, like something quantitative that comes after it. Which one are you going to go for? So if you are going for verbal reasoning and you're running from quantitative, then you need to run away from this class right now, okay? Because you need to be able to have that quant understanding. You need to have that technical ability. Like I said earlier, cybersecurity is not you writing amazing codes. Cybersecurity is not you trying to also use mathematical terms to describe everything. It's just all about you having the quantitative understanding and technical skill, okay? Once you have that technical ability and quant skill, you should be easily be able to excel in this industry. Then number 2 is the CS knowledge. You need to have that cybersecurity knowledge. I mean, product knowledge is not something that we all need to play with, okay? Even if you're not moving to cybersecurity or going to a different career path, there is need for us to have the product knowledge, and that is you understanding cybersecurity end to end. Then soft skills are also important, okay? So there is this saying in the space that ladies do well in cybersecurity than men. Can someone give me a reason why they think that ladies do well in cybersecurity than men? Does anyone have an idea why ladies do well in cybersecurity than men? If you have an idea, just put it in the comment section. Let me easily pick it up from there in the next 30 seconds or a minute. Why do ladies do well in cybersecurity than men? I'm going to even give everyone an example. For instance, in 10 analytics here, we have three senior cybersecurity experts, and 3 of them are all ladies. I mean, it's an amazing thing. 3 of them are all ladies, and they're all doing so well. So there is this underlying knowledge that when it comes to investigative work, investigations, that ladies do well in it than men. They will question everything, okay? They will question everything. Ladies think logically. Thank you, Chigozie. Okay, so a lady might come and see, for instance, if a lady sees me, or let's assume my wife, okay? Hypothetically, I'm not married, okay? Let's assume my wife sees a lady that is just a friend, even without me seeing anything at that moment. She have seen like 2 years ahead, and she's already telling me, okay, this place, do not enter it. But a guy can see all this and say, just leave it. It's just, it's all those kind of things. So ladies have that ability to, they question everything, they think logically, and they have that investigative mindset. So if those are soft skills that are very, very relevant, if you are looking to get into cybersecurity. Anita said, because of strictness, because of strictness. So if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, it's a soft skill that you also need to be able to have. And then very, very important, tools and software. I mean, this cannot be emphasized enough. You cannot be trying to get here without knowing how to use the tools. So it's also likened to what I said earlier. Some of us make the mistake of, first thing that we try to do in cybersecurity is, let me go and get certification. It is you counting from 10 downwards, okay? For you to get a job as a cybersecurity expert, your technical skill needs to be sound. I was speaking with a friend that is a PM in US, I think with one of the top 4. She told me that when she joined the top 4, she was not technical anywhere. That did not even ask her anything that is technical, okay? That because she was very, very outspoken, or she is very, very outspoken, they just saw her as someone that should be able to ginger the engineering team to be able to do their work, and she was employed. But you can't be trying to get into cybersecurity and you're coming with ginger without any technical skill, or you're coming with certifications without any technical skill, because you are highly going to be very, very technical. Then you also need to be a team player and collaboration. Okay, team playing and collaboration is very, very key, because it's not a career path where you try to hide your work. Oh, you are doing this, you don't want to know what other people are doing. You need to be able to, if you find an issue, you report it. You make the entire team see what you've seen so that they can also be able to be on the lookout. So teamwork and collaboration is very, very important. And of course, continuous learning. Continuous learning cannot be overemphasized. In fact, this is the most important aspect of it. You might think that you know how these boys on hoodies move, okay? But tomorrow, you are seeing a different people altogether, okay? Because the way, what they're doing today is different from what they're doing tomorrow, which means continuously someone needs to be able to learn the new ways of things that they are doing. Because if you decide not to learn, then that means they're going to come up with a new approach that you may not be able to prevent. So continuous learning is very, very important in cyber security. So what are some of those jobs that also exist for you? And what are the possible current salary with respect to them? Now, this is the average, okay? This is the average of some of them. So let me quickly bring up all of them so that we can not waste a lot of time here. Number one is the cybersecurity analyst. So you can see clearly upwards of $60K every year, okay? Upwards of $60K. You can also see your security engineer 85 to 120. You can see your SOC analyst 65 to 85. In fact, most people, the easiest way to start in cybersecurity is from SOC analyst, being a SOC analyst, okay? It's one of the easiest ways to break into this space. Then you can see your ethical hacker, that's your pen tester, I see $95 to $160 per annum. You can also see your security consultant, $90 to $140 per annum, which I can also pass as. So I don't think I'm a small person. No. You guys should not think I'm a small person. And also we have your incident response analyst, which is 110 to 160. You have your SOC architect, security architect 120 to 180, and the others. So cybersecurity, one of the things that I always tell people is that it is one of the most lucrative career paths in this space. Okay. And the reason why they are also highly sought after is part of those things that I mentioned earlier. When a cybersecurity person makes a mistake, you have all the possible failures will occur. All the possible issues will be in play. Operational issue will come in, financial issues will come in, regulatory issues will come in, and reputational issues will come in. All right? If a data analyst makes a mistake, it might simply be operational or financial issues. It might not lead to regulatory or reputational issues. But if you make a mistake, it will lead to all those four things. So this is part of the reasons why they also earn very more than most of their peers in the tech space. And also, when you look at the other aspect of interchangeability, okay, for instance, in today's recruiters are very, very funny. They will want a data analyst that also know how to do data science. They want a business analyst that also have data analyst understanding. They want a data scientist that also understand data engineering. So you can see the interchangeability of others in this space. Okay, a data scientist can work as a data analyst. A business analyst has understanding of data analyst. A data scientist that knows what he's doing understand SQL, Python, and may easily be able to get into that data engineering. So there is that interchangeability that exists amongst other career paths. But when it comes to cyber security, you are on your own. There is nobody that they can say, oh, let's try and get a data analyst with cybersecurity understanding or a data engineer that also serves as a cybersecurity. No. So highly, you are independent of most other career paths. So this is the reason why they are also very, very highly sought after and why their income is a little bit higher than most of their peers. I hope we are still here. Love data science, but want a bit of cybersecurity. 6-2s. All right, what I always tell people 6-2s is this. It is possible. Okay, but the mistake that we make most times is that we want to have all these things within a space of 1 year. Okay, for instance, everything I know is an accumulated experience close to a decade. Okay, I started from being a data analyst, moved to business analysis, moved to cybersecurity, GRC, and so many other things along the way. All right, but first, you have to decide on one career path and pursue it from there. What I always tell people is this: pursue one career path, land a job, and then decide that you want to get other things. Okay? I don't know whether you got that clearly. 6-2. So let me repeat. Pursue one career path, land a job. Then on the job, you cannot easily continuously improve yourself, because the issue of you are trying to learn data science, or trying to learn cybersecurity, or trying to learn data engineering, everything at once. You are even going to be confused, and even recruiters will also be confused. So very important thing that you need to know is pursue one, land a job, and then on the job, if you now see opportunity for growth, can now easily be able to take up some of those tasks and continuously learn to improve yourself. So learning doesn't stop. It doesn't mean that, okay, if you're a data scientist, it stops there, that you can't get cybersecurity. You can get cybersecurity, but make sure that you get one and become advanced in it before you now look towards moving to the other aspect of tech. I hope that answers your question, 6-2s. Okay, let's talk about data science to land their 3.5 million vacancies for cybersecurity. Okay, we are going to get there. We're going to get there. Let me not drive the class backwards. Okay, so what do you need? What do you need as a non-science degree holder to thrive in this space? Okay, so first of all, you need to start with a strong zeal to learn. Okay, you need to come ready, like come prepared. You're not coming into this space with the mindset of, oh, let me just go and see what they're doing there. No, they don't come into this space to try and see what we are doing. You have to make up your mind that this is where you want to be. Because the truth is, at a point, it's going to get tough. Okay? So if you've not made up your mind to come ready that, okay, even when the going gets tough, I'm going to be here, then it means that you are going to drop out or suffer one or two things along the way. So you need to start with that strong zeal to learn and come ready to position yourself to gain knowledge. Then also make sure that you stay updated. Like I mentioned earlier, the cybersecurity space is continuously evolving. So there's need for you to stay updated with the latest trend of what is going on, what is the new tool that you need to learn, because they are all very important for you. Then build a professional network within the cybersecurity space, okay? So that if what happens in this company, at least if you have a network, you're going to now have an idea of what happened there, which means you're now going to start building controls, building defenses to make sure that what happened there does not happen in your own space. Okay, so it's very important for you to build a professional network. Then gain the experience, gain hands-on experience. Okay, gain hands-on experience. It's very, very important for you to gain hands-on experience, because you're not coming here to be theoretical, you're coming here to be very, very practical. Please, can anyone see my screen?
Yes, Chukwemeka, I can see your screen.
Can anyone, if you can hear me, please drop anything in the comments so I'll be sure that people can hear me. I don't know if I stopped speaking at any point. Fobe, please confirm if you can hear me, Fobe. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see your screen. I said that before. Did you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I heard you. Okay, I think I stopped seeing people at a point, so I had to confirm again to be sure that we are all still here. Okay, now, like I mentioned also, gaining practical experience is very important, because this space is not a space where you just use theory to boo-boo or give lamba. No, it's a pure environment where you have to be very, very technical. So I know Sixtus mentioned something around the cybersecurity space. Yeah, what he said is the truth. So according to the job outlook, all right, there is increased demand for cybersecurity experts. Okay, so as of 2023, the damage caused by cyber crimes just in US alone saw an increase 21%, amounting to close to $12.5 billion. Now, as of that 2023, we had 1 million plus required cybersecurity experts. But what we had in the space were just 400,000 trained available cybersecurity individuals. Okay, so it simply means that there is more people. And then according to the Cybersecurity Jobs Report, there is 3.5 million opening by 2025. And this is 2025 already. So if you are looking to key into any of this, if you are looking to be one of those people that will get the skills to land the job, then first thing first is for you to get trained. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try and repeat. If you are looking to be amongst the 3.5 million people that is going to land those available jobs that is mentioned by Cybersecurity Jobs Reports, then you should look towards getting the skills first, getting the experience first, and then looking for the job. Now, we always mention things around, oh, I need UK-based experience, I need Canadian-based experience, I need Brazilian experience. So does it mean any country that you're going to, you need that specific country experience? So the answer is this: you need an experience and not entirely a country-based experience. Okay, the Nmap you use in Nigeria is the same Nmap that you're going to use in Brazil, same Nmap that you're going to use in Canada, and the same Nexus or Nmap that you are going to use in United Kingdom. So tech is a global skill, and once you get it, you can easily be able to speak it across all the countries of the world. I hope we are still following me to this very moment. Now, what are those best cyber jobs in 2025 for non-science degree holders? Number one is cybersecurity analyst. Okay, cybersecurity analyst is one of the easiest places that you can be able to get into. And what are the skills that you need? You need to have threat analysis understanding. You need to understand security monitoring, and of course, understand incident response. Okay, it is highly in demand and great for problem solvers. Okay, if you're a problem solver, you should be looking towards cybersecurity analysts. We also have the identity and access management specialists. Okay, so once you understand the role-based access control, RBAC. So when you saw Vivian introduce herself, she mentioned something that relates to RBAC. So it simply means role-based access control, okay, and multi-factor authentication. So once you master all this, you can easily be able to tilt towards identity and access management specialists, okay? You have your GRC professionals. Of course, you need to be an expert with respect to policy development, and also you need to understand risk assessment, and very important, you need to understand regulatory compliance, okay? But remember what I said earlier, as a GRC professional, okay? Let me repeat, as a GRC professional, you cannot control what you do not know. You cannot build policies around something that you do not understand. So I always recommend for people to have the industry knowledge, understand what the engineers are doing, what the technical guys are doing, so that when you are trying to build your policies, you can build a policy that makes sense. Because when you understand something, that's when you can be able to build controls around it easily. So you also have the other ones, your threat intelligence analyst. So you need to understand threat hunting, to understand your OSINT, that's open source intelligence, and of course, pattern recognition. Because for you to be a threat intelligence analyst, you should be someone that should recognize pattern. You've seen this, you've seen that, and you're already drawing connotations from it. Because those are the skills that is going to enable you to be sustained in that space. You can see your security awareness training, like I've already mentioned, understand your security culture, understand phishing simulation, and also employee training, and then you can easily be able to thrive in that space. Then cybersecurity project manager, simply for people that have those project management or business acumen. Okay, you're managing security projects, compliance initiatives, and of course, stakeholder communication. And also, you can be a security auditor, and you're now auditing control and also compliance checks and reporting your findings. So you can easily see that even with your non-science degree, even with no technical understanding, even with zero understanding of what is happening before now, you can easily be able to learn everything that happens in the cybersecurity space. But like I mentioned, that's what you need to do first. Identify where you want to be, okay? And then learn the skills and then apply to jobs. It doesn't move the other way around. You applying to jobs without having the skill, it's just equivalent to you just driving a car without knowing how to drive. So please make sure that you get the skills first and then start looking towards applying to all these roles. Okay, I hope we are still here. So like I also said earlier, in cybersecurity, we'll have basically two teams. Ideally, we'll have two teams. That's the red team and the blue team. But you can also say that we'll have a purple team, which is people that play amongst both. So red team are attack-minded, while the blue team, that people that are defense-minded. So some people are trying to build defenses to make sure that attackers cannot break in, while some people are trying to build attack. They're trying to attack to see if they can be able to break all those defenses. So you can now decide where you also want to be in. Okay, and then there is now the purple team, people that have the understanding of both of them. Okay, I hope we are still following me to this very moment. Okay, please make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping in the comment section. I know what I'm saying is a lot, so you want to take out your time to go through the slide, okay? But for you to have access to the slide, is from the attendance form that we're going to be using to send out the slide and the recorded version of this discussion, okay? So please make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping in the comment section. So how do you get started? Okay, you're trying to break into the space. How do you get this move up and going? You can see the guy I'm using to demonstrate all these things, because this is investor move that you're trying to make right now. So most important thing first is for you to select a career path. So what we always do every year is that we scrape several job boards. Okay, we scrape several jobs. Okay, I hope we are still hearing me. So we always scrape several job boards, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, CV Library, to see the highest number of jobs that was advertised for the previous year. And then we analyze it using these three basic metrics: ease of learning, which one can you, with your sociology background, with your English background, with your agriculture background, which one can you easily learn? Okay, and then ease of transition, which one has all those transferable skills from what you've been doing to the tech sector that you want to get into. And of course, which of them offers you high rewarding salary. Okay, and after all this analysis, we come up with all these 8 basic career paths. You can see your business analysis, you can see your agile project management, you can see your data analysis, data science, data engineering, financial analysts, and also HR analysts. But for the virtue of this discussion, we are going to be talking about the cybersecurity guys, okay? And after we've identified all this, we needed to validate that these career paths are going to be relevant in the next coming years, okay? And that's where we now looked at the World Economic Forum report to make sure that all these 8 career paths that we identified, that they will be available in the next coming years. It's not the one that you get into, and then next year you're hearing that, oh, AI has taken your job. So we validated all this, and then we're able to also see the results. I'm going to show you the results in a couple of minutes. Okay, so but what Economic Forum report said is that in the next 5 years, that's by 2030, 170 million new jobs are going to be created. Okay, we're going to have 170 million new jobs that will be created. Now, out of these 170 million new jobs, 92 million jobs are also going to be destroyed, or you can say they will also disappear. Okay, please, can we still see my screen? I think my screen is lagging a little bit. I can see it in the second one, but I can't see it in this first one. Okay, can we still see my screen? So 170 million jobs will be created, and then 92 million jobs are going to disappear. So what you need to make sure is that you are amongst those jobs that are going to be created. So all the jobs that we have on this green side, there are jobs that are going to be created newly. Okay, the ones that we have on this red side, there are jobs that will disappear in the next coming years. And the ones that we have on this blue space, that are going to remain valid. Okay, I don't know if we just saw what I did. I think my screen is lagging a little bit. So just a moment so that I can also be able to know why it is so. Just a moment. My screen will come up a little in a moment from now, okay? To come up shortly, so that I'll be sure that we can see everything I'm doing instantly and nobody is missing out. Okay, I want to be sure that we can see everything I'm doing and nobody is missing out. All right, please, let's confirm that we can see my screen now. Okay, let's confirm that we can see my screen now. It should be up now. Can we see my screen, please?
Yes, I can see your screen now, and it is showing. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that. Okay, so I was trying to explain to all of us that all the jobs in this green side, there are jobs that is going to grow, or they are going to be created in the next coming years. While the ones that we have on this right-hand side are going to disappear. Then the ones that we have on this blue space, they are going to remain stable in the next coming years. So you want to make sure that you are either in the blue side or you are on the green side. Okay, so we've analyzed all these World Economic Forum reports, and what we saw is this. For cybersecurity, it is amongst the fastest growing jobs out there. Okay, cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing jobs out there. So this is the fastest growing job. You can see number one, we have your big data specialist. So this is where we have your data analyst, your data scientist, your data engineers. So someone asks if data science is going to grow. I mean, data science is one of the fastest growing jobs. Okay, it is number one amongst the fastest growing job. When you talk about big data specialist, data science exists inside there. And this is for 6 tools. And when you talk about AI and machine learning specialists, data science also exists inside there. But for virtue of this discussion, remember we're talking about cybersecurity. So you can easily see that cybersecurity, it has 3 out of the 15 jobs that go among the 15 fastest growing jobs. 3 of them relate to cybersecurity. Number 1 is your security management specialist. Number 2 is your Internet of Things specialist. Number 3 is your information security analyst. Now, all these are all derivatives of cybersecurity. Okay, they are all derivatives of cybersecurity. So this is to clearly show you that cybersecurity is amongst the fastest growing job. If now look at the bigger screen, you can now see all the fastest growing jobs and the ones that are also declining. So easily you can see that the fastest growing jobs are on this left-hand side. Okay, so make sure that when you get this slide, that you look at this. You can also click on the link there to personally look at the World Economic Forum reports and understand it better. Then all the ones that we have on this right-hand side, they represent jobs that are going to decline. So what you want to do is to make sure that you move from this right-hand side towards this left-hand side to be amongst the jobs that are going to grow in the next coming years. Now, after you've been able to learn all these things, how do you land a job? Okay, remember what I've been saying, everything that we are doing will have targets. We want you to be able to move from where you are into landing a job. Okay, we want you to move from where you are into landing a job. And for you to land a job, there are 3 different things that you have to be able to do. Number 1 is to make sure that you learn. Okay, so learning is very, very important. You need to learn, you need to know how to package, and of course, you need to also now apply to the job. Okay, I think I just left the other meeting. Hello, Phoebe, please confirm that you can still hear me loud and clear. My second device
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, my second device just got through out of the session, so I'm going to join back. But like I was saying, there are 3 basic things that you need to make sure that you do. First is you need to first of all learn the skill, and then you need to package yourself. Packaging is very, very important, okay? Packaging is very, very, very crucial. There are a couple of people that they have the skill, they know what to do, but they don't know how to package themselves. It is an issue. It is a very big issue. Because if you don't know how to package yourself, a lot of opportunities are going to pass you by. Okay, so packaging includes how do you optimize your CV? How do you make your CV to have the relevant things that is going to even make people to call you up for interview? How do you make sure that you have the skills that they are looking for? Okay, you have every single thing that they are looking for. So packaging is very, very crucial if you are looking to get into the space. And then, of course, you need to know that you have to apply to the job. Okay, so last year I was reading a survey and it said for you to land 1 job interview, you need to apply to 27 jobs. Okay, for you to land 1 job interview, you need to apply to 27 jobs. Please try to make my second device a co-host. Okay, please make my second device a co-host. All right. So for you to land 1 job interview, you need to apply to 27 jobs. So what this simply means is that for you to now, and that is for every week. So in a month, it translates to you have to apply to over 100 jobs for you to land 1 job interview. So you can see that there are a lot of people trying to get to where you're also trying to get. So you need to be able to differentiate yourself. And the easiest way to do that is to learn, package yourself, and then apply. These are the only ways that you can be able to move from where you are to landing a job. So moving on, we have a lot of people that have been able to apply this same principle to land jobs. We have Ikmat. In fact, Ikmat used to be a stay-at-home mom, okay? But she also applied the same principle. She lands, she packaged herself, and she applied to job. She moved from being a stay-at-home mom into entering the data analytics space. We have Ramat, the same thing. We have Toyin, okay? But we may not be able to look through all of them, okay? When you get the slide, please click on what they had to say. Hear them out so they can also be able to understand how they made that same move, okay? Make sure that you listen to what they had to say because it's very, very important for you, okay? And then how exactly were they able to make this move? How were we able to help them as a company? Okay, so I always tell people that for you to move from the point that you are to where you want to be, you simply need to understand the steps to take. Okay, and there is just a simple 6-step approach that you need to take if you are looking to get into this space. Okay, simple 6-step approach. First is you need to choose and identify the career path that you want to be in. Okay, you see what 6-2 was saying, that data science with a touch of cybersecurity. That is where some people lose it. Okay, so first, you need to identify the career path that you want to be in. Okay, and after you've identified it, you need to learn the skills. Okay, and here at Analytics, we have the self-paced learning models where you have a video that the facilitator has done, and you're not trying to replicate what the facilitator did on your own. Okay, and we also have the live instructor-led class where someone like myself will be in the classroom walking you through all that you need to know. Okay, then next one is for you to gain project-based experience. Okay, project-based experience. In fact, if you click here, you are going to see a couple of projects that this person has been able to work on. Okay, so let me quickly try and bring it up. Okay, if you click here, you're going to see a couple of projects that he has worked on. And for you to land a job, project is very, very important. If you're looking to land a job, you need to have a project, because there's only one way for you to differentiate yourself and be able to show that you have the skills. And that is by showing evidence of what you've been able to do in the past. So if you can't show evidence of what you've been able to do in the past, you are going to struggle to land a project, to land a job. I don't know why my screen is giving me issues. Okay, but when you get the slide, please make sure you click on that place you saw, see portfolio here. Okay, click here, and you're going to see a portfolio that a cybersecurity person has been able to build, because everything that you are going to be learning, they are all project-based approach. Okay, and why we use project-based approach is so that you will have evidence of things you've been able to do. Can speak from a place of fact. Oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project. While I was consulting with analytics, I did this. Okay, so when you can easily speak that language, recruiters are going to know, oh, this person actually understands what he or she is saying. So I just have a simple question for everyone on the call. All right, if you are asked to, if your car spoils today, for example, and you are seeing one person, the person is telling you, oh, I'm a graduate of Harvard University, I studied mechanical engineering, bring your car, let me repair it for you. And then the next person is telling you, oh, I didn't study from Harvard University. In fact, I didn't even go to any school. But this is my mechanic workshop. I've repaired an Aston Martin. I've repaired a Benz. I've repaired a Volkswagen. I've repaired a Toyota. Bring your car. Let me repair it for you. Whom are you going to give your car to repair? Okay, so this is a question for everyone. Whom exactly are you going to give your car to repair it for you? The person with a degree from Harvard University, or the person that is telling you, oh, this is my mechanic workshop. I've done this. I've done that. Bring it. Let me repair it for you. Okay, I'm waiting for our responses, please. I'm waiting for our response. I hope we heard my question, or we are not following. Are we all here? Are we all here? Whom are you going to give your card to? Chigozie said that. Okay. Nessa said that. I've seen Nessa say it before. I've seen this name before. And Jennifer also said the mechanic with experience and evidence. And then a number said yes. Fantastic. So this is to tell you that your project-based understanding is what recruiters are looking for. If you joined earlier, you're going to see where Elon Musk posted, I don't care the university you went to. I don't care the company you've worked with. Just show me your code. Show me what you've been able to do. So that is why portfolio is very, very important. So when you join, all the things that you are going to be learning, you're also going to be taught how to build your own portfolio. So what skills do you need to land a cybersecurity role in this 2025? So clearly, I'm going to walk us through what you are going to be learning when you join our own program. What and what are you going to be learning? So first thing is we are going to walk you through the overview of cybersecurity. You're going to understand everything that pertains to pen test, everything that pertains to incident response, the general overview, for you to even understand the space that you are getting into before you move on to your cybersecurity basics, okay, where you now start talking about your CIA triad and of course your risk management. Okay, so that place you've seen information security principles and risk management, that is where you are now going to handle your cybersecurity basics. Okay, then next you move on to how do you handle vulnerabilities and also your network security. Okay, how do you handle vulnerabilities and network security? And for each of these key learning areas that you see here, there is a tool that you are learning that is attached to it. Okay, for instance, when you are learning the network security and vulnerability, you're going to be learning tools like your Kali Linux, you're going to be learning Splunk, you're going to be learning Wazoo or Nexus or Wireshark for your network analysis also. So each of those things that you see, you are going to be learning a tool that relates to them. Then you move on to learn your SOC roles and responsibilities, and of course, how to handle log analysis and what we call NTM. That's your network traffic monitoring, okay? And for all these things, remember, you are learning a tool that's attached to it, okay? As a SOC analyst, that's where Splunk becomes very, very handy. So you're going to be learning how to utilize Splunk for all this. Then you move on to your threat detection and response, okay? Your threat detection and response, and then of course your incident response and threat intelligence life cycle. Very, very, very crucial. That's when I start looking at things like your Showdown, they're looking at your Google Docs, and also your Microsoft Defender, and so on and so forth. So like I said earlier, there are several tools attached to each of that key learning areas that you're seeing there, okay? There are several tools attached to each of those things that you're seeing there. Next one you're going to learn is your open source intelligence gathering, okay? Open source intelligence gathering, that's what you're talking about, your OSINT, okay? You're going to be learning both how to be able to gather intelligence for you to know how to build your defenses up, okay? You move on to your malware analysis and threat intelligence actor, and also learn pen testing. How do you work as a pen tester? That's where now looking at the possibilities of how do you perform an attack and how do you defend an attack. So you can see that all these things are what you need to learn to have the skills of a cybersecurity professional, okay? Then you move on to your exploitations, and of course, lastly, you are now seeing your GRC. So if you can see my screen, you can see where GRC started, okay? And that's where we're now talking about governance, risk, and compliance, learning the ISO 27001, which is the information security framework, rather, and then also having understanding of how to perform compliance audits and policy development, then your security awareness training and reporting. So when you are done learning all these key things, can comfortably be able to work as a pen tester, can work as a SOC analyst, can work as a security engineer, can work as a threat intelligence officer, and several other roles, okay? And remember, all these key learning areas, they are all practical. So it gives the practical understanding for you to be able to move from where you are right now into landing a job. So these are all the tools, some of the tools that you are going to be learning. Now, for all our classes, they are only on Saturdays, okay? So our classes are only on Saturdays, where you are going to be having someone live in the class to teach you. Okay, so the way it works is that this Saturday, you're having a live class. Next Saturday, you're having a self-paced video to watch. So on those live class days, we have morning class and we have the evening class. So you're going to select the class that you want to be in. Okay, so morning class by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. watts, and then the evening class by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. watts. So by virtue of your time zones, the morning class is suitable for people in Africa and also in Europe, while the evening class is suitable for people in North America or Canada. But even if you're in a different time zone, you can join the time that fits. Maybe you're in UK, but you work in the morning. You can decide that you want your own class to be in the evening, but you can only join one of the classes. You can't join both. So you can only join one of the classes. And our own learning timeline will have two options, the 8-month plan and the 12-month plan. Okay, the 8-month plan and the 12-month plan. So what happens here is that for both of them, you're going to be in the classroom for 6 months, learning all these key major parts that you need to understand. Then for the 8-month plan, you're going to have 2-month internship after, while for the 12-month plan, you have 6-month internship after. And this internship is in conjunction with a different company called Amdari. Okay, so what it does for you is that when you are done learning and interning, you have the unique opportunity to have in your CV that you've worked in 2 companies. Remember the way I mentioned that you are not learning or studying with us. Even though you are a student, we prefer to tell our students, please always mention that you are consulting with analytics, because we play in the consulting space. Our students also work on those contractual services that we get from clients. So you can always speak from a place of experience. While you are consulting with analytics, you did this. While I was consulting with Amdari, I did that. So it boosts your experience that instead of you joining as an entry-level person, it brings you up to a level of someone that has experience. Now, for you to land a job, all these technical skills I've been mentioning alone is not sufficient for you. Okay? For you to land a job, all these technical skills alone is not sufficient. You also need the employability skills. These are things that's going to help you to land a job offer. So technical skill plus employability skill gives you the job. In fact, I always love to mention that it is a 50-50. Okay, it's a 50-50 approach. If you have technical skill alone without employability skill, nobody is going to hire you. Okay, so there is need for us to understand all these things. And for the employability skills, first thing that you need to understand is how do you optimize your CV and make it to look like you've been in that space before now. So most of us struggle to land jobs because our CVs are not optimized. Okay, most of us struggle to land jobs because our CV is not optimized. You see yourself that, oh, this job they are going for is something that you know it, but whenever you apply, you see yourself not getting the job. Why do we think this happens? It's simply because that same CV that you use to apply to network security engineer, that's the same CV that you're using to apply to SOC analyst, that same CV that you're trying to use to apply to be a pen tester, that same CV that you're trying to use to apply to several roles. So it doesn't work like that. So first thing that we are going to do for you is to walk you through how do you tailor your CV down to the job that you are going for. Okay, how do you tailor your CV down to the job that you are going for? And that's where CV review sessions come in. Okay, and after it, we're now going to give you a template of a CV that you can now comfortably be able to optimize at any point in time that you are applying to a job. So what most people always do sometimes that we'll give you a template and you just remove the name, Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and you instantly put your own name, Nessa Osei. And then with that same CV, you are now using it to apply to role. No, please. So we always advise you to make sure you tailor the CV down to the job they are applying to. Okay, so what we are giving you is just a guide, a template that you can now constantly be able to modify. But every time you are going for a role, make sure that you tailor it down to the job that you are going for. Next one is also LinkedIn optimization. Okay, so easily, recruiters always utilize LinkedIn to hire because it is easy, it is cheap, it is fast, and it gives you everything that you need. For instance, if I need a cybersecurity person in Ivory Coast, I'm just going to go to LinkedIn and type cybersecurity in Ivory Coast, and it's going to bring out the head of everyone that's into cybersecurity and is in Ivory Coast. So it helps you to hire easily and also helps you to be visible. But if your LinkedIn profile is not optimized, what it means is that recruiters are not going to see you. Okay, so if your LinkedIn profile is not optimized, recruiters are not going to see you. Okay, so you need to be able to also optimize your LinkedIn for you to be able to apply to jobs. Okay, Fobe, please make me co-host again my second device. I think the screen is off so that people can see what I'm saying. All right. So once you understand all these things, you have number 3, which is also around how do you navigate the job market. So we always bring in expert recruiters back to classroom to walk our students through how to navigate the job market. Okay. And then very, very important, what we call interview prep sessions. Okay. Very, very important interview prep sessions. Because for you to be able to land an interview, you have to also prepare for it. So when you get an interview invite, you have the opportunity to book a preparatory class with us. And we're going to prepare you for that interview. Okay, and then we also provide you with references and recommendation letter at any point that you need it. Because these are things that serve as evidence that you've been able to do something with a company before now. Then we'll also provide you on-the-job support. If you wanted a job and you're still struggling, we're also able to provide you with this. But our students barely come for this because by the time that you are done, you are going to get most things that you need to survive. Then mentorship sessions and Upwork session where you can now learn how to work contractual-wise to get $50 here, freelance, and be making small money here and there. So these are things that we also equip you with for you to be able to land a job. And these are things that we've done for our people that they've moved from our classroom to landing a job across so many industries. So all these things you are seeing on my slide, they are all success stories of people that have been able to make the same move that you're trying to make. Okay, you can see someone like Adetayo. Adetayo joined our cybersecurity program, and within 60 to 70% completion rate, he got a job. So at the point he wanted to drop off because he gotten a job. But we simply advised him, it's not what we want for you. Okay, because with that 60 to 70%, you should be able to land a job. But if you're looking to shoot for something above, then you need that full understanding. Okay, so this can be you also. But first, remember, you need to learn the skills for you to land this job. So all these are success stories of people that have been able to make this move before you. Okay, so what you want to do is after this class, please make sure that you fill the attendance form now. Make sure you fill the attendance form now. So that after the session, you are going to get this slide on your own. You can now go through it and understand what and how they were able to make that same move. Okay, make sure you fill the attendance form so they can get all these things. So the question now is, how can you get into the program? Okay, so last year we also joined the our Beta Capitalizer program with one aim. Okay, our aim was simple. We helped 350 people to get a job last year. How do we double that number this year and help 700 individuals? So that's why we got into the Capitalizer program to learn how we can also be able to help more people in the Black community to break into the tech sector. And when you are done training, you're also given a certificate that is fully recognized by the ACTD. That's the American Council of Training and Development. So you're going to get this certificate to validate that you have the skill. Now, the next steps that you need is to now register. And our next cohort is starting on the March 8th, which is roughly next week Saturday, if I'm correct. Yeah, next week Saturday. Okay, next Saturday. And how you can be able to secure your spot is simple. So for all our programs, for the 8-month plan, the full price is $900, but it's currently discounted to $750, which means you get to save $150. Okay, while the 12-month plan is $1,200, currently discounted to $1,000, which means you get to save $200. You have 20% off on either of them. And how you can secure your spot is just click on this link that my colleague will drop in the comment section. Okay, once you click on that link, it's going to take you to our Analytics Enrollment Center. Okay, it will bring you to Analytics Enrollment Center. And what you want to do once you get to this place is just scroll down and look for the program that you want to join. Okay, for instance, you want to join the cybersecurity program, scroll down and look for cybersecurity. Here you can see cybersecurity analyst 8 months and cybersecurity analyst 12 months. Choose any one that works for you. Let me explain using the 8 months plan. So I've clicked on cybersecurity analyst 8 months. Okay, once I click on it, it's going to bring me to a page where I can now select how I want to structure my own payments. Okay, to bring me to this page where I will select how I want to structure my own payments. Remember, you can pay instrumentally up to 5 months for the 8-month plan and up to 8 months for the 12-month plan. So what you have to do is simple. Once you've gotten to this page, simply scroll down. So like I said, the discounted pricing is not for everyone. Okay, it's just for the first 20 people to join the program. Okay, so once you come here, you can see that it's only 15 seats that are available now for people. And once these 15 seats are taken, the price goes back to the full amount. So I always advise people to secure their spot at any point that they see it. So if you scroll down, you're going to see how you can break down your own payment. You can see that for the 8-month plan, you can break it down up to 5 months. Okay, but there's something I also want to explain to us. If you decide to pay one off or in 2 installments, you get an extra discount inside the discount that is already there, which means you get to pay $700 instead of $750. Same thing is applicable to the $1,000 plan. If you decide to pay one off or in 2 installments, you also get extra discount inside it. So what you have to do is just choose the one that works for you. and then click on secure your seat. Once you click on it, it's going to show you that your first payment is due today. Next payment is due March 26th, next one April 26th, and then May 26th, and so on and so forth. So click on proceed, and then it will bring out a place where you can now fill in your name, your email address, and then your phone number, and simply pay for the product. Now, the beauty of this is that no matter where you are joining us from, it picks your location and gives you the pricing in your own local currency. Okay, so if you are joining us from Nigeria, you're going to see the pricing in NGN. If you are joining us from UK, you're going to see the pricing in pounds. If you are joining us from Canada, you see the pricing in CAD. If you are joining from Germany, you're going to see the pricing in pounds. So no matter where you are joining from, you see the pricing in your own local currency. You're allowed to make payments in your own local currency. So once you fill your name, your email, phone number, and paid for the products, simply come back to this main stack link. All right, come back to the main stack link and then scroll up and click on upload your receipts. And once you've done that, someone from our team is now going to reach out to you, welcoming you to the program with your own welcome kit. I hope that was explanatory for everyone. I hope that was self-explanatory for everyone. Remember, like I said earlier, the discount is not for everyone, okay? It's simply for the first 20 people to join the class, okay? And right now, we have 15 spots remaining for anyone looking to join the cyber security as at now. I don't know if at this point we have questions, okay? Please feel free to use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak, or you can also put it in the comment section and I'll pick the question from there and make sure that I answer it, okay? Any question from anyone before we start rounding up for today? Do I have any question from anyone, or we totally understood all that I was saying? I'm looking forward to the class. Fantastic, Nessa. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere. Maybe it was in the clarity call. Actually, I'm sure I've seen Nessa. I will say his name somewhere. Is it a must to go back to school to study this in university before you can be professional or to get a job? Okay, so this question, I don't know whether the person that typed it has been listening to us. Okay, for instance, the person that walked us through everything that we know right now, what she studied in school was sociology. Okay, but today she's a cybersecurity expert. In fact, as a matter of fact, school is not going to give you the technical understanding that you need to land a job. Okay, in our program, we have people that have studied cybersecurity. We have people that did not study cybersecurity, but they are all trying to learn cybersecurity because they are all two different things. You can be in school and school is teaching you CIA trial, teaching you cybersecurity this, cybersecurity that. But for you to land a job, what you need is the technical skill. And technical skill is what you get by working on something, working on project to get that experience. So that's the gap that we are trying to bridge, okay? You work on projects to learn using project-based understanding to get the experience that you need to land a job. Can someone change from one course to another after successfully registered? Matthew. Yes, Matthew, you can change. For instance, you registered for data and you want to move to cybersecurity. You can change, okay? I mean, even when the program starts, you have up to 2 weeks to change. But after 2 weeks, you cannot change freely anymore, okay? But even up to 2 weeks, you can decide that, oh, I registered for data before, but I want to move to data science, or I want to move to cybersecurity. You can easily change to that, okay? But after 2 weeks, it is not free anymore, because before now, we used to allow it, and what we realized is that people register for data analytics, they will do data analytics for 1 month. They will learn what they want to learn in Excel and maybe Power BI, and then they will tell you, oh, I don't want data analytics anymore, I want cybersecurity. And they move cybersecurity, they will learn a particular tool in cybersecurity, and oh, I don't want this one again, I want this. So we were being cheated, okay? So that is why we limited it to 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you cannot be able to switch freely anymore. If you want to switch, there will now be a cost attached to it, okay? Because the idea is, oh, you've gotten maybe 20% of this knowledge, trying to also get 20% of another knowledge. Okay, I hope that answers your question, the number that is asking the question. Okay, that is Matthew rather. Okay, how much is the initial payment? Okay, that is from a number. So like I said, the initial payment is $125 if you're looking to get the 12-month plan, or $150 if you are looking to get into the 8-month plan. Okay, so you can break it down into instrumental payments. Okay, so what you have to do, the person that's asking the question, is simply click on that link that my colleagues are dropping there. Okay, once you click it, it's going to take you to our main stack page, and they can now easily be able to navigate. Because I don't know where you are joining from, so that we can be able to speak in your own country currency. Okay, because it's important for you to also understand it from your own country currency. But once you click on it, it picks your location and gives you the equivalent in your own currency. I hope that answers your question. Okay, from Nigeria, fantastic. So if you're in Nigeria, okay, let me go back to the link and try to explain. If you're in Nigeria, let me come back. Just 1 second, please. Why is this not happening? All right, so if you come to the link and you've selected the one that you want to go for, I know I have the ability to switch my location. All right, so if you're going for the 8-month track, once you click on it, you're going to see it in NGN. I've changed it to NGN now. So you can see that you can break it down up to 5 months, where you pay 285 every month, 285,000 every month. You can decide to pay in 4 months, you can decide to pay in 3 months, as case may be. It's now for you to now decide how you want to break it down for yourself. Okay, Simon said he's in Ghana. Simon said it's same thing for you, Simon. So if you are in Ghana, you're also going to see it in cedis as well. Okay, you're going to see it in Ghana cedi. So once you go there, you're going to see how it's also breaking down. For instance, you can see for Ghana cedis, it is 2556 Ghana cedis for the 5-month plan. It is 3195 if you want to go for the 4 months. Okay, so it's now you that will decide how you want to be able to break it down for yourself. Jennifer is saying, if I'm in a country outside of Nigeria but have a Naira account, can I pay in Naira? Okay, Jennifer, it might be hard for you. So what you may want to do is to send the link to someone in Nigeria to make the payments for you. Okay, because you know it picks your location anywhere you are in. So if you're outside Nigeria, it picks that you're outside Nigeria, so it might be hard for you. But if you send the link to someone in Nigeria, after the person has made payments, they will communicate to you, okay, this is the account I made payment through. They'll send you the receipt, and then you can now go back to that upload receipt and simply upload the receipt yourself. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Jennifer. Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. I signed up for the 8 months, but I've changed to 12 months now, Nessa. Okay, fantastic, Nessa. I don't know, have you communicated this to us before? Let me write it down so in case you've not, we'll be able to handle it. Okay, all right. I don't know if there's another question from anyone before we start rounding up this evening. Let me check if there are any hands raised. Remember, if you want to speak to me live now, you can use the raise hand icon and I will ask you to unmute and you're going to speak to us. Okay, now for people that do not know where they want to start, so we have what we call clarity sessions every day. So what you may want to do is just be watching the group chats that you join through. They're going to share a link for you to book a one-on-one free consultation. So we're going to look at your background, look at what you've been doing, and then find a career path that suits you. Okay, so this is very important. Remember, the first thing that you need to do is to select a career path. So for people that have not been able to make that selection, please make sure that you select those one-on-one consultation, and then we're going to have a clarity call with you to find the career path that suits you the most. Okay, but what you may want to do now is register through any of those options. Okay, register through any of those options and then select, I want to speak to the professional when uploading your receipt. Okay, select that, and then it simply means that we are going to also add it to those clarity call to make sure that we have those conversations. Because what happens is sometimes you might be waiting for the clarity call and then the link, the 20 discounted price will finish. So I always advise people to always secure their spots and then make sure that they now book the clarity call. Please, is the start a professional one? Thanks from Simon. Now, Simon, what we are going to give you is a certificate that you've been trained as a cybersecurity professional. Now, when it comes, and it is generally recognized, it is accredited by American Council of Training and Development. It is globally recognized, all right? But when it comes to getting specific industry-based certification, you have to go to the certification body to get it. For instance, if you want to get CISA, or you want to get CISM, you have to move towards ISACA to get all those certifications. If you want to get CC, that's certified in cybersecurity, you have to now go to ISC2. Okay, so there are different certification bodies. If you want to get, there's certified ethical hacker, there are so many certifications. Right, so if you are now looking for a specific certification, you may now want to go to the certification body to get it from them. But our own certificate is what qualifies to show that you have been trained as a cybersecurity expert with all the technical and project-based understanding. And like I said earlier, in the tech space, your skill and experience trumps certification. So make sure that while pursuing certification, that you also, first of all, get the skill and the experience that you need. Okay, I can't find any other question in the comment section. So like I've said earlier, we've helped close to 3,000 people move from our classroom into landing a tech job. In fact, our highest employer of labor is NHS. So all these are places that some of our students work. NHS is our highest employer of labor because they're always, coming with visa-sponsored jobs. So most of our students always also pivot towards that direction. And then you can also see some corporate social responsibility we've done in the past. Last 2 years, we had a hackathon or capture the flag where someone went home with $1,000. Last year, some people also went home with $2,000. So these are things that we also always do to make sure that we help the community in which we are also serving. All right, so all these other things you are seeing here, they are all success stories of people that have been able to make this move before you. Okay, so you can make sure that you fill the attendance form. Okay, make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you get this slide and personally go through all these success stories and see the one that you resonate with, and also watch what they had to say, because all these things are very, very important and crucial. And you can also decide, oh, let me reach out to this person on LinkedIn, and you can now personally reach out to them to hear from them how their own experience was when they joined Analytics. Okay, I think that's the last question from Simon. Please, can I use the knowledge to secure a professional start from any of the boards? Simon, fantastic. Now, when it comes to certification, like I said earlier, there are different diets that certification bodies are looking for. Okay, if you're going for CEH, definitely you need to be very, very efficient with pen testing, right? But what you are learning will give you understanding to land a job. Okay, so we are not here to tell you that we're going to help you get a certificate. What you are going to learn is going to help you land a job. Okay, because for you to land a job, what you need is skill and experience. Now, certification is important. Don't get me wrong, certification is very, very important. But certification is secondary. Okay, what you may want to do first time on is get the skill and experience, use it to pursue jobs, land a job. On the job, you can now start moving towards certifications to now elevate your own status. Okay, but if you are pursuing certificates first, that might be very, very dicey. And what we are also going to teach you is also going to be relevant for you for the diets of those certifications that you want to go for. But like I said, how you learn for a theory something is different from how you learn for practical understanding, which is why I'm saying if you're going for any certification, it's important that you look at the diet of that certification and then understand each and every single module that is necessary for those certifications. I hope that makes sense to you. As much as certification is important, most employees look for people that can deliver on the job and not certificate. Thank you, Linto. And that's what I've been trying to explain. And if you joined the session earlier, I started with what Elon Musk posted. He doesn't care the certificates you have, just show him what you've been able to do before now. Okay? Thank you very much. So are you ready to gain the premium tech skills? So like I always tell everyone, the best time to get into tech is yesterday. The next best time is today. Because tomorrow, it might be too late. So on behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, and also my co-founder, Efemina Ibru, and of course, my fantastic senior cybersecurity associate, Vivian, and for people who have been handling the session. I say a very big thank you to every one of you that joined this session from the beginning of the conversation till this very moment, okay? It's not easy to listen to someone for close to 2 hours, and please make sure that you secure your spots so that we can also be able to have conversations beyond just this masterclass. I can't wait to see you in any of our sessions come March 8th. Cheers, everyone, and bye for now.